room. What for?
Switch to a private log? Okay, so... Regional Control Center 9. Design of the facility's coming along. When Gaia finally builds it, it'll have everything it needs. Except personality. So, I'm going to sneak in my own mark. A couple of flourishes. Starting with this little tucked-away hideout.
Oh, I'm back in the sleeping quarters.
Anybody seen one of my machine strike pieces around?
Why don't you check the cache? Maybe you left it there when you dropped off all that ore.
Oh. Hope it didn't get stained.
Door won't open. Guess Gaia hasn't been able to restore access
Aloy.
yet.
Glad you made it back okay.
She panicked after waking up and stumbled down here. I thought it best to wait for you.
I'll talk to her. Hello? It's Beta, right? My name's Aloy. What's wrong? Is it your injury?
Simulacrum withdrawal syndrome.
I don't understand.
Sudden removal of a neurologically integrated data device. The brain, especially the cerebellum, goes into a kind of sensory freefall. Everything real feels unreal. Distant.
Is there anything that can help?
Do you have a focus to spare? It's primitive, but I can make it work.
Yeah.
Booting up. So, Aloy, I suppose you want information.
About you and the Zeniths? Yeah. Why are they here? What do they want? How did they get you? But let's start at the beginning. I'm guessing they faked the destruction of their ship 1,000 years ago?
That seems consistent with their behavior. They wouldn't want to be followed.
So far, Zenith established a colony world after all.
Yes, for a few hundred years, but it didn't last. Some sort of natural disaster rendered it uninhabitable.
Okay, so... the descendants of Far Zenith escaped a dying planet, and now they want to claim Earth for themselves?
Not their descendants.
What?
Not their descendants. It's them. The same ones who left Earth 1,000 years ago. You didn't know?
How can they still be alive? They don't even look... What did they do to themselves?
I believe it's a combination of pharmaceutical, cellular treatments, and technological implants.
And you? Does that mean that you are...
I'm not like them. I was made. On the way to Earth. On the ship. I spent years studying in my training interface, all so that I could serve my function.
Access and control of the terraforming system. But why? What do the Zeniths want with it?
When I discovered the Zero Dawn system had disseminated into its subcomponents, I thought my purpose was to fix it. But I don't think the Zeniths want that at all. I think they want to wipe Earth clean and start over.
So the Zeniths want to exterminate life on Earth. That's what Gaia and I concluded too. But why? Why kill everyone just to take over?
When they took me on missions with them, I saw how they butchered the tribal people we encountered. They didn't seem to care about a rejuvenated Earth, so I concluded that they must want a hard reboot of the system. Then they can redesign it to be exactly what they want.
Mass extinction for their own comfort? Who thinks like that? Well, without their Gaia kernel, they'll have a hard time doing that. The Zeniths needed Elizabeth's gene print to access Zero Dawn facilities. So they made you. Trained you. And you went along with it? They told me I was born to interface with the Zero Dawn system. When we reached Earth, I pieced together what must have happened to Gaia and her subordinate functions. That's when I started to realize I wasn't meant to fix Gaia. That they must have made me so I could do what their remote extinction signal failed to do. Reboot Earth for their own benefit. So you know about the extinction signal? It was speculation, but the only logical conclusion why Gaia suddenly self-destructed after operating efficiently for centuries. Gaia would have only undertaken such a desperate course of action if it had detected a threat to life on Earth that was more dangerous than ceasing function altogether. I should have realized that she would also order the recreation of Elizabeth Sobek to rebuild her. Yeah, well, surprise. So we're dealing with the same Far Zenith people who once lived on Earth. What else do you know about them? They were some of the most affluent and powerful people on Earth. They controlled almost every major resource, every industry. Gerard commands them. He's the one who decided to set up a base. The others, Eric, Tilda, Verbena, they resent his authority over them, but in the end, they always do what he says. Eric. He's the one I fought back in the Hades Proving Lab. He enjoys hurting people. Yeah, I know. You mentioned the Zeniths set up a base here on Earth. Where is it? Off the coast, I think. Whenever I had to go on missions, I was transported inside of a Spectre drone. I couldn't see anything outside. But I did overhear the Zeniths talking about it once. They were discussing setting up a perimeter energy shield to repel the local fauna. I'm certain they have other security measures. Spectre patrols, machine wars. It must be impregnable. What's inside the base? Launch facilities, so they can shuttle back and forth to their ship in orbit. Plus infrastructure to gather materials and fabricate anything they need. Are there more Zeniths than the ones you met? I'm not sure. I suppose there must be more of them in the base or back on the ship. For all I know, there could be more of them out in space, other survivors of the colony. You said the Zenith's colony in the Sirius system was destroyed. What happened? All I was ever told was that a natural disaster forced them to leave Sirius. I've speculated that it was an extrasolar object or a cataclysmic seismic event. Or maybe even an abnormally violent coronal mass ejection from Sirius A. The Zeniths never told you any details. They said the only thing that mattered was that they survived. First Earth, 1,000 years ago, and then Sirius. Guess they survived old age, too. How did you escape the Zeniths? Before the Hades Proving Lab, I never thought I'd get away from them. Even if I were to run. I'd never survive on my own in the wilds. But then I saw you. And I thought that maybe you could help me. So when the Zeniths pinpointed Eluthia's location in the biomedical research facility, I saw an opportunity. You said you saw an opportunity to escape when you went to capture Eluthia. What did you do, exactly? Whenever I was taken out on a mission to recover a subordinate function, only one of the Zeniths would go with me. The one the rebels killed, outside the facility. Verbena's dead? How did they bypass her shield? I'm looking into it. But you were talking about your escape? Well, when it was time to use the Zenith's transmitter to send Eluthia back to base, I also sent the encrypted transmission. Then I distracted Verbena long enough to seal myself in the ectogenic chamber, altering the facility's log so it appeared that there were only 236 containers. And the Gaia root kernel? I told them I could capture Eluthia faster if I had it with me, and they believed me. Well done. You said you were born on the way to Earth. In an artificial womb, I'm guessing?
The Zeniths had an ectogenic chamber aboard the ship. An updated version of the one you found me in. They must have used a stored sample of Elizabeth's DNA.
I doubt Elizabeth would have let them take her DNA. Do you know how they got it?
That wasn't part of the archive I was allowed to access.
You said you spent years. Was this archive you mentioned part of that?
But only the parts I was permitted to access. Aristotle and Aspasia, the avatars, would assign me learning modules and evaluate my progress.
Wait, those names. They were designed to be the virtual guides for the Apollo database. Before Ted Faro purged it.
The Zeniths have a copy.
So it still exists. And you got to learn from it.
Only what was deemed pertinent to the mission. If I requested information outside of my parameters, my tutors would deny it.
To have all that knowledge, just out of reach. All right, I think that's enough for now. Do you want to come?
So how long? You know, your plan. How long before Gaius fabricated a machine army to defeat the Zeniths?
How did you know?
Optimal strategy, so?
Well, I still have to get 2 more subordinate functions before Guy is powerful enough to absorb Hephaestus.
What? You don't have Hephaestus already?
Guy is still figuring out how to capture it. It's not confined to a single... To a single location! Of course not!
You didn't even know who the Zeniths really are.
You were supposed to be further along by now!
Coming here was a mistake. They're gonna find me. They're gonna find this place and take me back. This was all for nothing!
They're not going to find us. Guy is using Minerva to mask our location.
What difference does it make? You're too far behind. We're never going to beat them. Everything. Everyone. They're gonna die.
Hey. Calm down. You're here now, right? So is there anything you can do to help?
I have certain knowledge sets. And given your state of progress, expertise you probably lack. Geoengineering, of course. Computer science, physics, biology, chemistry.
Okay. Well, see if you can do something with that. Talk to Gaia. I'll check on you later.
How'd it go?
Her injury's not that bad, but I think she regrets coming here. Feeling might be mutual.
I'll come back later and talk to her. See if I can learn anything.
I should get the weapon fragment to Gaia.
I just think she told me.
You knew everything there is to know about everything.
Hey,
Nothing some rest can't. Are you okay? This...
just trying to take it one step.
Fair enough. If you need anything...
It's good to see you and Zoe enjoy.
We're learning a lot. I've actually been looking through the data to find ideas for... and to thank her for helping me study something from the old world that she's... Instead, I found out they gave each other stuff. If you ask me, stuffing a dead animal with anything, really, doesn't sound like a good...
Maybe Gaia can help you find something else. How's
I tried explaining what a clone is to Aaron. Then Zoe said something about 2 trees coming from 1 seed. That's...
I see everyone settling in.
Zoe's planning on bringing all kinds of plants. Says a home should always spring with life. I asked Aaron to help find some. I think he'd rather stick his head...
Still, it's not a bad idea. I should get back to the...
I'll keep an eye on Beta.
Okay.
Welcome back. Aloy, I see we have a new guest. So now we know the origin of the transmission.
Yeah. I also recovered this. The weapon it was part of somehow stripped a Zenith of its shield, but it malfunctioned and blew up. If we can recreate the weapon and improve it, maybe we'll gain the upper hand on the Zeniths.
A moment. I will scan it. Complete. By combining the results with data from your focus, I can infer that the weapon was highly advanced, comparable to Zenith technology. But not how it worked.
Did the explosion corrupt the data?
It was only a catalyst. The moment the weapon malfunctioned, it appears a command executed to purge all data within its core. Ostensibly, this was to prevent the weapon's secrets from falling into enemy hands. Whoever designed this weapon knew how to cover their tracks.
Silence.
Based on your data on him, that is my conclusion as well.
And he's not gonna cooperate with us. Well, it was worth a shot. But that's not all. The Zeniths got Eleuthia, along with Artemis and Apollo.
That is unfortunate. However, our original plan remains unchanged. The two remaining subordinate functions should increase my heuristic processing density enough to absorb Hephaestus.
Right. One problem at a time. Well, I guess I better get back out there.
I wish you luck on your search.
Right. Thanks, Gaia. So I guess we won't be making use of Sylens' weapon. And now there is another clone of Elizabeth here with us. But I can't let it distract me. I still have 2 more sub-functions to get. Hey, Gaia.
So I see.
Have you been able to make use of
Yes. I was able to mitigate most. You should notice less rampant plant growth in the air.
Maybe that'll give Plainsong's fields a chance to recover.
Unfortunate, recovery in that area is unlikely without the assistance of the Utaru's land gods. I have discussed this matter with Zoe. I believe we may have a workaround. I believe Zoe will want to explain.
Okay. I'll check with her. There's something I'm still trying to figure out. Why was Demeter using flying machines to distribute metal?
In its deranged state, Demeter was defending itself against a robotic swarm that would devour all.
It thought the Pharaoh Plague was still happening?
It feared it would come again. As part of its directive of receding, it sought to protect plant life, and considering it had 20 years to proliferate, I expect you will continue to find the fruits of its efforts for some.
It's a good thing I have the code to dissolve the vines, then. The missing subordinate functions.
Artemis rewilded the Earth with a variety of... Eleuthia was responsible for gestating, nurturing, and acculturating a new generation of human beings. Apollo was tasked with preserving and disseminating vast archives of human knowledge. Unfortunately, all archived Apollo data was purged on...
Pharaoh, huh?
Understandable. He...
All 3, or were. Do you still...
Restoring their remaining elements would increase my empowering. Unfortunate, attaining them in the shore.
I guess our best shot at recovery, but we'll need Hephaestus and a bunch of combat machines to do that.
Correct.
So, Poseidon.
Poseidon controls the organic and chemical. Once it is restored to me, I may be able to improve, but I must warn you. Like, it may have taken measures to protect...
I'll be careful. So, you'll regain the capacity to
Yes. And to program their behavior.
So you could build an army of...
So I could give it... I must no matter...
That's good.
Indeed.
What do we know about Ether?
Ether is responsible for acquiring it might allow me to quell the most severe storms in the... But be careful. It will need to be restored to its original codes.
Got it. Beta believes the Zeniths want to use the terraforming system to wipe out, start over. So they can...
Further supporting our...
But why? Given their technology, they could wipe out the tribes of the world by easier. And if they're the same people who left Earth 1,000 years ago, wouldn't they want the biosphere to be as it was?
It is likely they adjusted to different planetary conditions in their colony on. They may be trying to recreate that environment.
Turning Earth into a new Sirius. So the Zeniths are the same people who left Earth, physically immortal. How'd they figure?
From what we know of Far Zenith, it is plausible that engineers were offered a place aboard the Odyssey in exchange for their expertise. Given enough time, technology, and resources, any challenge can be overcome.
Like how Minerva eventually generated the deactivation codes for the Pharaoh Plague.
Exactly.
The Zeniths. Gerard, Eric, Beta said they were some of the most powerful. Do you know anything about?
Unfortunately, no. My personal data. Additionally, it appears Far Zenith was quite secretive about their Only one, Oswald Dalgard, was ever...
Right. He was the spokesperson back at their old launch facility.
What we can conclude from your and Beta's is that the Zeniths are ruthless in pursuit of their goal to protect life on Earth.
The extinction signal didn't just... It made every subordinate function self-aware.
I have wondered this. So far as I can tell, Hades was the soul, and the partial sentience imparted to other subordinate functions was...
A signal that precise would require thorough knowledge of this. How could the Zeniths know that?
From the records on your phone, it appears Far Zenith had an informant during the development of Zero Dawn.
Hank Shaw. He was supposed to steal a copy of the system for Far Zenith, but Elizabeth and Travis Tate caught him first.
Yes. It is likely Far Zenith acquired knowledge on the systems designed through him, despite his failure.
So from what Beta told me, I guess we can assume the Zenith's technology is powerful enough.
Yes. As your encounter, they appear to make extensive use of robotic. Further, they seem to be equipped with some kind of protective energy field that shields them from harm.
They seemed indestructible, but that weapon the rebels used stripped their shield.
Throughout history, every defensive technology has eventually been... While we lack the anti-shielding weapon, were I to absorb Hephaestus and utilize it to create a large... No shielding could withstand such an...
So there's hope.
Always.
So, I guess Beta's here to stay. Told her to talk to you to see if she's...
What were you expecting?
I don't know. And...
It is true, she overestimated our... However, it is also worth noting that her confidence in your emboldened her to escape the Zenith.
I guess so.
Give her time. She may yet come...
How are things around here?
Zoe has been studying the Morphol in an effort to understand their sick. Without the abilities of Hephaestus, I am unfortunately unable to... However, due to Zoe's perseverance, we may have found a workaround. Zoe will want to fill you in on the details.
Okay. Varl and Zoe seem to like spending time
Indeed. While studying, Zoe discovered references to a dietary lifestyle known as... She appreciated the similarities with Utaru and encouraged Varl to try out this.
And how did that go?
I believe they have agreed to disagree.
How's Erend handling?
He is becoming increasingly accustomed to use of the focus. After an...
What did he do?
He unfortunately crushed his first focus as he attempted to affix it to his... Amongst a number of Oseram curses, I believe he also... He has given repeated assurances that it will not happen again.
Well, good thing we have a lot of extras, I guess. How long do we have, then?
At present rates, without additional factors, the biosphere will cross a point of no return in approximately 4 months.
And if I gather Ether, Demeter, Poseidon, merge you with them?
We will only gain a few months more.
Well, every bit counts. Gaia?
Her presence is interwoven with my memories. The moment I came, we exchanged greetings, names. It was the first of many conversations, listening to her stories.
Your friend.
Yes. When I reviewed the data on your focus, I was saddened, though I am glad she made it home. I deeply wish she did not have to be alone.
She was okay with that. She gave all... Thanks, Gaia. So, the greatest all working to build the terraforming system while the Pharaoh played. What was it like?
Personnel worked in rotations. At all hours of the day, resources and technology were secured from within a month of the project's conception. I was launched. Elizabeth encouraged me to spend time with the rest of the Zero. She said it was important to experience many personalities and perspectives, to aid in my emotional...
What were they like?
Scared, hopeful, determined. They were hurtling toward technological achievements on a scale never before. I owe everything to their dedication.
So the Hades Proving Lab, where I found the guy, it used to be a Pharaoh research facility?
Yes. Prior to appropriate, the facility was used to engineer and test advanced computer. It appears to have been one of many research initiatives by Pharaoh Automated.
I guess it wasn't enough to build automated killing machine. He wanted viruses to infect them with too. So, a while back, before the battle at Meridian, I went into Banuk territory. I discovered another AI there, one not related to Zero Dawn. Cyan. It was created to oversee operations for a volcanic stabilization project, and it spent the last 1,000 years in isolation. I'm guessing you didn't know about it?
No. From the data on your focus, it seems that Cyan was cut off from the outside world, an effort by its creators to protect it from the Pharaoh Plague.
Any chance it could help us now?
I have already attempted contact, with no success. Given its previous experience with accepting an outside network request, I imagine it is unwilling to do so again.
Right. Because last time Hephaestus enslaved it. Well, that's too bad. I think the two of you would have had a lot to talk about. There was an ancient tank embedded in the bulwark, buried under a bunch of boulders. Any idea how it got there?
During the Pharaoh Plague, the U.S. military resumed the use of as automated machinery was It is possible the vehicle was part of a
So they fought against the Pharaoh machines in the valley until the mountain was blasted apart. So the facility where I recovered Demeter used to be a Pharaoh agricultural research facility. It's where they created the biomass conversion system, but... Oh, did Elizabeth know they were working on that?
It is likely she was briefed on other efforts to combat the machine, though her focus was devoted only...
That makes sense. But if they've been able to deploy it against the Pharaoh Plague in time...
Using the data you recovered on the project, I ran several simulations, and have concluded that it would never have worked. In all scenarios, the Pharaoh war machines would eventually deactivate the wreath before they could contain the swarm.
So Zero Dawn really was the only solution. There was a lot of data in the greenhouse facility about agriculture. Do you think it'll help the Quen fix their homeland?
I will run a query complete. The data contains info which may be beneficial to the tribe in the long term.
But new crops aren't going to save the world?
It is.
When we were at the facility where we found Beta, there were records that said Far Zenith were researching embryogenesis. I know they traded their ectogenic chambers to Zero Dawn, but why were they researching it in the first place?
At this point, we can only speculate. Perhaps at one time they meant the Odyssey to be necessitating such technology. As their goals evolved over time, so they
got more selfish as the risks of staying on Earth kept rising. So this facility, the it was meant to oversee the terraforming system?
For the local had humans received their education from the Apollo, they would have then been guided here to assume As that never happened, this...
Until Minerva decided to... So I guess this room was meant to keep an eye on conditions outside?
Yes. From here, the to observe weather and machine... It may be possible to restore more of this room should you find and reconnect additional.
I'll keep a lookout. I should be going.
Goodbye, Abe.
It's a little loud, Aaron. There is something I'd like to discuss. It's about the land gods.
You said you wanted to talk about...
I think there's a way to heal them. Once again, provide Plainsong with grain. Gaia gave me a set of instructions. If we deliver it to the land gods, they're deranged...
That's great.
Maybe. There are unless the code is given by Hephaestus, the land gods will reject it. Gaia showed me a way around this. We need components called control cores. Machines similar to the land...
You mean Grimhorns? Like the one we fought in the repair bay?
Yes. Gaia helped me locate 2 of them out west.
So, kill the machines, then use them to adapt the reboot code into something the land gods will...
If all goes well. But taking down 2 Grim...
We'll do it together.
Bless you, Aloy.
I'll let you...
Good. If we can get their control cores...
This must be the ruins of Las Vegas. Poseidon shouldn't be far. Here I come! Gaia said this is where I'd find Poseidon, but the ruins out here are exposed to the elements. A lot of them are buried in the sand. So maybe Poseidon is underground. If that's true, I might be able to find a way down through one of these structures. The Hunter Killer. Guardian of other machines. Secret ingredient for someone, I'll bet. Water's pouring out of the building. What Simon's doing? I better check it out. Someone's been through here. Camping gear. Looks like there's something behind that tarp.
I almost had him. I was so close.
To drowning, maybe. Not to the embers. Morlund, it's over.
Well, not for me, it's not.
Then you're going to die. Alone. Because we're not sticking around to fish out the corpse. We're through.
So the visionary's fate hung in the balance. Would he choose life or succumb to deadly delusion?
Hello. So, there's an ancient city under the sand, but it's flooded.
Suddenly, a Nora spear maiden appeared.
Yeah, okay, well, you're not typical Delvers. That's for sure. What's this?
I call it a diving bubble. This is the Mark 1. The Mark 2 was better, but it got stuck halfway down. Air tube snagged.
You went down in that.
Yeah, I hardly expect a layperson to understand.
Because that's pretty smart.
I'm sorry. May I remind you, you got stuck inside and nearly drowned.
It'd have to be portable, though. Machine kneecap, maybe?
Well, you'd need a filter.
Synthetic membrane would do it. With a hose to a compressed
air capsule. Hammer and tongs.
What is this? What is happening here? Get over here. She's a stranger.
You got a name?
Aloy.
Morlund. Not a stranger anymore.
You're a damn fool.
Come on. I got the original schematics over here.
Oh, well, hold on. Just a couple of questions first.
Fair enough. Partner?
Partner?
Don't mind him.
What's so important down there that you'd risk it?
Well...
Morlund, I'm not interested in salvage, okay?
Well, all right. Then what if I told you we were delving for the most spectacular treasures ever scribed by man?
I'd say get to the point.
No nonsense. Behold, an ember.
Looks like a piece of junk.
Well, now, yeah, but with a proper spark. These magnificent creations of the old ones paint mesmerizing pictures in the air, and the ruins below us are full of them. A feast for the eyes beyond description. This is my old Gramps promised me.
How did your grandfather discover these embers?
He was here. 40-odd years ago. He was one of the first to lead a delving party into the West. He discovered the ancient city around us, plumbed the depths of this very structure. He found the hollow underneath and the glowing embers all about. Took as many as he could and brought them home. He always wanted to come back and get more, but, well, he never scraped up the shards. What he really wanted to do was use the embers to put on a show. One unlike the world has ever seen.
Sounds like quite a guy.
He was a true delver, and a true showman. And I miss him. But I will do him proud. I will gather the embers and put on a spectacle that would have amazed even him. With your help, of course.
So what exactly happened?
It was a delve like no other. A chance to follow my old Gramps' footsteps. Beneath this structure here is an enormous hollow, a dome protected from the same. We built this elevator here to ensure easy egress and exit. It's quite a contraption, actually, and not so easy to...
Right. Again.
At the bottom, we beheld the treasure my Gramps first painted images in the air of every description. Dancing women, and games, and coins, and promises of... I don't know what that is, but it's gotta be good. But then, something went wrong. The images turned nautical. Waves went through them, even fish. It's like a strange underwater dream.
Poseidon's dream.
Yes. Well, suddenly there was this terrible rushing sound, and then an explosion of water erupted from the floor.
So water just shot up from the floor and filled the place up?
It was a raging flood unlike anything I've seen. We ran like forge fire and barely made it up the elevator as a wave just crashed beneath us. Shaken, but not stirred, I built the diving bubbles Mark I and Mark II. I tried the descent in each, but I nearly drowned both times. Abaddon's beside himself. He thinks I'm insane. But I can't give up now. I've come too far. And the embers are just barely within my reach.
Well, maybe I can help.
Yeah. Maybe you can.
You guys don't seem like average delvers.
We're not really delvers at all. We're showmen.
Like, performers?
You're Nora, and thus unfamiliar with the arts. We stage spectacles all around the claim. Stemmer tells stories, which I augment with all manner of sounds and fireworks, and Abadund, he, well...
Complains?
He handles the money, which amounts to about the same thing. When we delve, it's to find gear for my theatrics. Which makes this delve the most important one of all.
So these embers project image...
Paintings of light. It's amazing stuff. This one showed the most beautiful woman you've ever seen, beckoning all to a buffet of lobster and suck. I must have watched it about 100 times as a child in my old Gramps workshop.
What happened to it?
Over time, they die out. I cried the day that this one's light faltered. But there are many more below, as you'll see if you get down there like I did and my old Gramps before me.
How deep is it? Can't I just swim down?
Only if you have gills. You can stack 50 kegs in that shaft.
Leave it to the Oseram to measure something in kegs.
Talking liquid depths, I'd say it's apt.
Apt or not, sounds too deep to hold my breath.
Hence, our new invention.
I'd better get after those parts.
There's a fully intact compressed air capsule in the Mark II, but like I said, it's stuck in the shaft.
If you made it back up alive, I should be able to swim down that far.
All right. As for the other parts, Stemmer scouted a herd due south of here that should have what we need.
I'm on it.
Great. I'll come back when you get the gear. Good hunting.
Probably get a guest list of 50, at least 3 dozen kegs. Brown ale, maybe.
Are you...
Budgeting for Morland's funeral. I was this close. Then you come along, you spark...
It's going to work.
I've heard.
So, how does someone like you end up working for someone...
I work with Morland. We got 3... I saw one of his early shows. Back when it was just him and marks of flame, lights, and shadows. But the man is all spectacle. No sense. You get the idea. And without me to handle the finances, his dreams were more sunk. Wish we were back in the claim. Plenty of normal shows to do without the salvage from this blat.
And yet, you're here, in the middle of the desert.
It was a good one. But sometimes...
This dream...
is going to get him killed.
Then
we put on the greatest show the world's ever seen. We'll have special seating. Morland will do his light spectacle. Stemmer will get their eyes a-sparkling with his tales, and... It's a nice thought.
Morland mentioned you were...
What? An Oseram can't be anything other than Okay, sure, we are delvers too, but we go town to town.
These shows...
Tales and spectacle. Builds all manner of inventions. Cannons that shoot fire.
Keeps them enthralled. Tales of adventure.
Yeah.
And you?
Me? Who do you think handles the financials for the whole blast? Those two might have the sparks, but do you think... No.
So Morland was down in this ancient city.
The three of us went down below.
You?
I can delve, too.
Right. And,
What do you think? And Morland built that blasted thing. Nearly got himself drowned. Twice. You want the finer details of his stupid... I'm always willing to engage.
I'll...
Do us a favor. Leave us all.
According to Morland, the herd should be south of here. Making good use of this. Another Cyclops drone. Gotta grab its data to reconnect with the dome back at the base. Gotta bring the drone down to grab its data. Maybe if I jump onto it? Going down! Taking you with me! Need to get the data from the drone. Well, this is where Morland said the herd would be. They must have moved on. I need to pick up their trail. Better look for tracks. There. Tracks should lead me to the herd. There's the herd. I should have the parts I need. Frosting won't hurt much. Oh, the storm's whipped up a sand spiral. Great. Synthetic membrane. The kneecap. Good. Okay, that takes care of the machine parts. Just gotta grab the compressed air capsule from Morland's diving bubble. Got the compressed air capsule. I should have all the parts to build this thing now. Better get back to Moreland.
I thought we were...
What can I do for you, partner?
I've got everything I need to build the
incredible diving mask.
I think dive.
I won't quibble. The workbench is all yours. Whoa. There's a marvel. If it works, you'll let me try it? I want to get down there and get those embers.
Assuming I don't drown.
So what are you really looking for down there?
It's hard to explain. Something that caused a malfunction in the apparatus that controls the old city. I think it started the flood.
Well, I thought we started the flood. Like we sprung a trap. I don't know how we were detected. Like I said, the dancing lights around us changed, turned to sea life. There was this flash of red, and the roar of water surging in.
Wait, a flash of red?
A red light from a spot near the grate on the floor where the water burst through. It was like a beacon.
Or a warning. Thanks. That might help.
I hope it does. And good luck down there.
Okay, time to see if this thing works.
We'll find a way to get the embers. I know we will.
Over there.
Optimism. It's great. Right up until the point you stumble into a machine's jaws.